different structures.
I'm going to go with some oddball ones. I'm going to tell you things that I really legit use. Okay. So, my first go-to, I don't know how much you can see in frame here, but I'm surrounded in a room of subtractive analog synthesizers. So I love the hardware stuff. And I love the software stuff. So my go-tos in the software domain would be as follows. This is in no particular order. I love, and this is going to be one everyone knows and uses. Also, too, I love the guy that made it. I love SERUM. I think Steve Duda is an absolute wizard, genius, and deserves all the credit for making my favorite wavetable synth. It's great. It's clean. It's got no jitter. Sample accurate. I use it to augment a lot of subtractive analog synths. If I'm laying down, bass part on the OBXA here, or the Mini Moog, one of these things, I'll just take it and high pass filter it a little and hit it with a SERUM underneath it. And it's so consistent, right amount of sub harmonic information, easy to work with. So that's one of my go-to soft synths. I'm going to throw a curveball one, which is LOOM 2. That is one of my favorite soft synths. And you probably can't see it, but I'm like a huge analog, rather additive synth guy. I don't know if you can see that thing back there with all the knobs and sliders. Do you see that one? It's this one right here. This guy right here. So it's got those two monitors up there. So that's this crazy additive instrument, and it actually belonged to Klaus Schultz from Tangerine Dream. He used that actual instrument on Thief, the Risky Business score, like all these crazy scores, and a lot of my favorite Tangerine Dream records. It's kind of like, it was developed at Bell Laboratories. It's a prototype. They only made 2 of them. The other one, Wendy Carlos has, and she used on Clockwork Orange and all these like crazy scores. Anyway, I bring it up because it is like the pinnacle of additive synthesizers. It's got 384 point envelopes, crazy stuff. I have to tell you, also, dude, it's really hard to work that freaking thing. Like, you have to like heat it up. It's got a mainframe. It's like a thing, right? So not poo-pooing it. I love it. I feel so lucky to have that machine. It's like a museum type machine. But that said, LOOM 2 is like the only synth I've ever heard that I can make sounds that are kind of in that GDS wheelhouse of crazy additive stuff. So that's a real go-to for me. I love that synth for, for everything from ambient stuff to scoring things. I love it. So let's see, what are my other go-tos? One of my other super go-tos is one of my own. It's the only synth I've made, which is PHOBOS, which is a very unusual design in that it is basically taking a loop or a sound source and it's convolving it with another sound source, but it's doing it polyphonically. So you're actually playing the impulse responses polyphonically. And I designed that with the Spitfire folks because I needed something where I could make these subtly percolating kind of textures for film scoring, but that weren't like, an arpeggio or, some big pulsing thing that just had this subtle kind of rhythmic pulsing to it. So I use PHOBOS all the time when I'm scoring. I guess my other go-tos are, I want to recommend some stuff too for folks that are interested in this, subtractive analog type textures. So one I would recommend is DIVA. I think DIVA is a really great soft synth, really big, juicy sounding soft synth. Put that through a couple, UAD LA2A, and you're like good to go, man. That's like a serious one. And I get those, that's 4, but those are kind of my go-tos, man, if I'm being honest.